I think we can all agree that making content is hard. Inevitably, every single person who turns a camera on and tries to talk to it is gonna face some struggles. So in this video, I wanna talk about 7 of the worst mistakes that I made along my creative journey, dating way back to 2020. At first, I wanted to make content because I wanted to make an impact on the world, and I definitely underestimated how much work it was gonna take. In the beginning, I thought it was just a matter of writing down my ideas and bringing them to life, thinking that I had all the answers, and boy, was I in for a shit show. Hold on, Hazel wants to go outside. By the way, if you don't know who Hazel is, she's my cat, and this is around the time that she likes to go chill on the patio. So anyways, my goal for this video is to just have a chill conversation with you and to reflect on my creative journey and share the lessons that I learned along the way so that hopefully you don't have to yourself. I think a lot of great things can happen from making content, and I don't really talk about this as much as I used to, but over the last 6 months, we've finally experienced some growth on the channel, and I figured it'd be a great time to chat about it. And if you're a content creator, a business owner, an entrepreneur, or someone who's looking to create that sort of lifestyle for themselves, make sure to stay to the end because I have something special to announce for you that will solve all of these mistakes that I'm about to share with you. So the first mistake that I made was overthinking everything, from how I looked on camera, what settings I used, what lens I used, what angle I should do, what time of day should I shoot, should I use a light, should I not use a light, should I just use natural light, should I talk about this, how is my tone of voice, do I have a pimple on my face? Like, exhausting. And you can imagine that doing this will suck the creative energy out of you. And it'll make you overcomplicate the process, which is not what you need, especially when you're getting started. What I wish I would have done differently and what I learned along the way is to be lighter on yourself, to be more generous, to understand that you don't exactly have all the answers, and nobody has all the answers. But especially when you're first getting started, you hardly have any answers. And so you should embrace that discomfort of not knowing what you're talking about, not knowing how to speak to a camera. That was another thing, learning how to speak to a camera like this. It was tough, but instead of beating myself up and looking in the mirror, talking down on myself, I just wish that I would have laughed things off a little more. Not take myself so seriously and to play the long game, and understand that through every video, I'm going to get better. Meaning that whatever I show up and perform today is enough. I always felt like there was something I was missing. And in reality, you're gonna build the building blocks as you go. So don't worry about having all the blocks right now. What matters is just taking that first step. In a way, I would choose to look at my imperfections with love. So let's say I had a couple pimples on my face. Instead of deleting the video or just talking bad about myself, I would just love myself and be like, dude, you're human, man. This is the stage of your life you're in. Embrace the pimples. Like, nobody really cares, to be honest. And if they do, that's not the audience for you. The second mistake I made, which is probably the biggest mistake that I made throughout this whole process, was that I was operating from a place of scarcity. I was desperate for likes, views, and validation, never feeling satisfied no matter how it performed. I was having a conversation with a coaching client. We were talking about how important it is to do the internal work when it comes to your creative journey. Because if you're operating from a place of scarcity, it's almost as if you're operating from a place of weak roots, meaning that when the storm comes, it's going to be really hard to tolerate the storm, to weather the storm. If you think about a tree is able to withhold the strong winds and the tornadoes and terrible weather because it has strong roots. And not only that, but it's surrounded by other trees with strong roots. So this is where the power of relationships and being able to talk about your feelings and to just express maybe these scarcity-based mindsets that you have so that you can overcome it and see things from a better place. What I wish I would have done differently is really prioritize the internal work. When you are desperate for likes, desperate for attention, and desperate for validation, you're not gonna have a sustainable journey. I tried it for years and years and years, and it just didn't work. And another mistake that I made was trying to make YouTube into a business too early, because I was desperate for for money, because I was broke. I was broke and I thought that YouTube was the answer, and that is just a recipe for destruction. Because what ended up happening was I was even more desperate for likes, views, and attention, because I was operating from a place of, please give me your money because I'm broke and I'm about to struggle paying rent. What I wish I would have done differently sooner was focus on attracting one-on-one clients, focusing on helping them, validating my skills through them, and not leaning on my brand too early, because it can actually hurt your relationship with your audience if you're asking them for things too early on. You have to build credibility first, in my opinion, and you also have to build that self-confidence through helping one-on-one clients themselves. But the last thing I'll say on this topic is to have faith in yourself. Like, have faith in the long game. Stop worrying about how well the next video does, and instead think about where you're going a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years, and 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now. Because it's so helpful, and it'll reduce a lot of the self-sabotage along the way. The next mistake that I made was posting inconsistently. What you'll realize is that a lot of these mistakes intertwine, and that's because one mistake can lead to more mistakes and more mistakes. And I'll give you an example. Because I was operating from a place of scarcity and I had weak roots, I'd post a video, not get the validation I wanted, and then I would self-destruct. I would search for distractions. I'd numb the pain through other things that were not useful. And it would prevent me from making my next video, from starting the process of writing my next idea down, bringing it to life. Obviously, this is going to ruin my consistency because I'm getting in my own way. I'm listening to this story in my mind that's telling me, you're not worthy of likes. You're not worthy of attention. How do you think you can help people if you can't get views? You're broke. Why should anybody listen to you? It wasn't until I flipped that script that everything started to change. Do the internal work, you'll be more consistent. You'll start loving yourself more. You'll start appreciating the mistakes you make on videos, because it is the building block to teach you the lesson to apply to the next video. Consistency allows you to take action, learn from your mistakes, and build the building blocks that's going to allow you to discover your unique voice online, because that is what this is all about. You are different, you are unique, I am different, and I am unique. But your story is unique to you. The story that you are currently telling yourself in your mind is unique to you, and the impact that you have on the world is unique to you. The only way to fully find your mold online is to be consistent. It's not to sit here and plan it out, to plot exactly what you're gonna say, because that's definitely something I did. I would script everything, and it just didn't sound unique to me. It sounded like I was trying to be somebody else. It's almost like the person who waits for a big wedding day to lose weight versus somebody who builds a healthy lifestyle, goes to the gym consistently. Which one is going to get more results? Obviously, the person who's going more consistently. In a way, I think we treat our lives in new things, especially when we feel uncomfortable to those new things, like the person on their wedding day. This is just not going to work sustainably long term. It's going to work in the short term, and you're going to experience some dopamine and some motivation and wins from it. But after that wedding day, if you don't continue going back to the gym, you're just going to get back to where you were and fill up those pants that you were trying to get rid of. Now, the next mistake that I made along my YouTube journey specifically, which is relative to other platforms as well, is just not playing the game like it is supposed to be played. What do I mean by this? I mean title, thumbnails, and hooks. For the longest time, I thought I was too cool. Maybe not too cool, but in a way, kind of. Thought I was too cool to sit down and write out the perfect title and thumbnail. I'd rather put that energy towards making a great video, or so I thought. But the name of the game is that if you do not play the title and thumbnail game, people will not see your video, meaning that everything you put into that piece of content is useless. It's almost like expecting people to come inside of your brick and mortar shop to buy things, but not putting the open sign on the front door. In regards to the title and thumbnail, I would pick a general statement as to what you want to talk about. Do research, just type it into YouTube and figure out what topics people are talking about, see what people are already clicking on, and just iterate off of what they have for their title and thumbnail. Do this enough times and you'll start to figure out what your style, what your brand voice is. There's this beautiful quote by a guy named, I think his name is David Perel, but he says, imitate and then innovate. Nobody has original ideas, so just go copy if you need to, twist it in your own way. Don't completely copy it. And then over time, you'll start to understand, okay, this is how I would do it. I don't necessarily need advice or external inspiration for my own stuff. But in the beginning, you don't have a foundation yet, so just imitate and then innovate. And in terms of the hook, this applies to any piece of content, whether it's a video, an article, a newsletter, a blog, Instagram, Facebook, everything. The first sentence is the most important. The first 10 to 15 seconds in a YouTube video are the most important part of the video because it sets the stage as to why the viewer should listen. If they don't have a crystal clear indication as to why they should stay to the end of the video, you are not going to get people to watch your content because we are a bunch of squirrels, whether you have ADHD or not. Honestly, I think we all kind of have ADHD. Because of the nature of social, there's so many places that we can go for entertainment. And if we're not getting that entertainment within the first couple seconds, it's time to move on to the next one. And that's just the name of the game. So either you play the game, you subscribe to the game, or you just waste a lot of time and then start beating yourself up, wondering why people aren't interested in your content. Do the back end work before you show up on camera, and it'll make your life so much better. And really, another tip that I have here in terms of like titles and thumbnails is, at least for the title, really focus on the benefit and the curiosity factor. What's the benefit for the viewer? Why should they watch this? What should they get out of it? And the curiosity factor is similar to the benefit, but it should spark some curiosity, like, what's going on in there? Like almost like an untold answer or like a cliffhanger. How can you open up a loop and keep it open to the point where they get to the end of the video and then it closes? That is exactly how content works. You want to open up a curiosity loop, then fulfill that loop with benefits, and then close it out, and you will make great content, I promise you. And the last thing I'll say in regards to the YouTube game is that I was talking about way too many topics because I didn't know where I was going. In the beginning, I was talking about COVID, and then I was talking about my move to Austin, and I was documenting my life. And I was creating vlogs when nobody had a reason to care about my life. Let's just be honest. Why should anybody just watch some random person's vlogs if there isn't something about that person that is inspiring? So lay the foundation for your brand. What should they get out of your content? Why should they click on your page and listen to what you have to say? Once you get to a point where people are invested in your brand, sure, then start bringing the more entertaining content, which is just purely vlog and documenting life and things like that. But before you do that, make sure that you focus on delivering value, start attracting the right people to your brand, and give them a safe place to say, okay, I like this guy's channel. He has good things to say. He helps me. He is relatable in my aspect of life right now. And I'm going to continue showing up because he's delivering value to me. And while I'm on this topic, it is good to be selfish with your content every now and then, regardless of what stage you're in, because it is what makes content fun for you. So an example of this is my occasional DJ mixes that I put up on YouTube. Those are strictly me having fun. It's purely out of, this is joyful for me, this is selfish for me, and if you like it, awesome. And I'm stoked that you like it, but I'm going to continue doing it because it fulfills me. The other content, the helpful content, is fulfilling, but it's more so for you. I don't have to talk about those things online. I really don't, but I choose to because I want to help. I want to make an impact. This is where your purpose comes in. If you don't know what your purpose is, then take the time to start reflecting on life, reflect on stories, your story, reflect on what's happened for you, and think about all the things that you've learned and how can you apply that purposefully to help other people. All right, I got to take a breather, y'all. This is going to be a long one. I used to talk about this kind of stuff more often, and I stopped doing it because it felt like weird to make YouTube content about YouTube. I just feel like I had a bigger impact to make than that. But this is important to me right now because I know that there are some people watching this content who want to make their own videos and are really good at getting their own way, because I was definitely that person for years. And until I broke past that, I struggled with enjoying the creative journey, which I feel like is a sad thing because the creative journey is so beautiful. It's a journey of self-discovery. You learn so much about yourself. So hopefully you're getting a lot of value from it. And if you are, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. Now, the next mistake that I made was consuming way too much content and comparing myself to huge creators like Matt Diavella, Nathaniel Drew. The problem with that is if you take in too much inspiration, you'll leave yourself stuck because you don't know what direction to go. There's so many ways for you to go that if you start seeing what everybody else is doing, it's just gonna overwhelm you. And that's not what you need as a creator. You need something that's gonna get you to just press record, because the secret sauce is through action, not through consumption. It's from pressing record, looking at the camera, and doing this over and over and over until one day you're like, I feel like I kind of got this now. And the truth is, while there are plenty of amazing creators out there who you or I may never create content like, and that's okay. I have learned throughout my journey that the value of a video is through the message, not through how great the film looks or how great the composition is. Now, take this with a grain of salt. If you're going to a filmmaking channel or a photography channel where it's strictly about art, that's a different story. It's great to have fancy equipment, but it's not what this is about. There are plenty of YouTubers out there and other content creators who are killing the game with just their iPhone and like a little selfie stick tripod. The next mistake that I made was thinking that everyone cared as much as I did. I would get a video that got 30 views and I would think that, oh my God, everybody is going to sleep thinking about that video and how it only got 30 views. Dude, nobody gives a flying fuck. Nobody gives a fuck, dude. And if they do, good for them. You know, like, at least you're over here making videos. At least you're trying. The person who's laughing at the person trying is probably more insecure than the person trying. So don't take those people seriously. It's just not worth your time. There is so much more to life than worrying about the naysayers. And also realize that people care mostly about themselves more than anything. You go to sleep thinking about yourself and you wake up thinking about yourself. You're not worried about what Sally is doing on YouTube and how her video only got 35 views. It's just, sure, you might see it and think something about it, but then you're on to the next thing, the next text message, the next event, the next task. Your life will go on. Don't worry about what people think, because it does not matter. Now, the final mistake that I made along my journey that made the biggest impact on my brand and my content was not making or designing systems for myself for the creative process. This was the main reason why I was not consistent with my content, because nowadays I have a system set up to where I'm always excited to get to the next idea, which helps prevent me from drowning in the results of the video that I just posted. So when this video goes up, maybe what I'll do is after an hour of posting, I'll change the title and thumbnail if I feel like I need to. But overall, my main goal is to detach from it so that I can just focus on the next video. When you are focused on the next thing, you're inevitably going to be more consistent. Yes, look at the results of the one that you just posted and reflect on what worked, maybe what didn't. But then use that like a scientist, apply it to the next video. That is the process of growth, and it applies to everything in life, not just content. But this is why having a system is so important, because it prevents you from perfectionism, the imposter syndrome, from inconsistency. And if you don't know where to start with a system, then I have a solution for you that I literally wish that I had 4 years ago, which is my new Notion template called Dreamflow Operating System, which is designed for creators and entrepreneurs and business owners who are looking to make a bigger impact online. Systems are so important that I've created multiple different systems inside this template. Over the last 6 months, I've just iterated on the systems that I needed for my business and for my self-growth journey and my content, so that I could streamline the process and stop overthinking and drowning in the perfectionism and all this self-sabotage. For the past 3 or so months, I've posted a video every single week, and this has been the most consistent that I've been over the last 4 years, and it is because of this template. Now, inside the Dreamflow operating system, you'll find everything from a journal, a habit tracker, a task zone, which helps you track your to-do list in a very sophisticated and integrated system that makes it really enjoyable to hit that checkbox. You also have a dashboard for your clients and contacts, your research, your notes, your meetings, your content calendar, your entire creative process. And it is the thing that has made content fun for me again. Ever since this template has been designed, it has made my life so much easier and simpler and more enjoyable, and I want you to experience that as well. So if you're interested in that, I'll leave the link in the description. You can go check it out. And if you're interested, now is a great time to take action, because for the next week or so, I have a discount going on. The price is going to go up. You'll find all the information and details inside the link down below. And another great thing about it is that you have lifetime access. I will be updating it as I see fit, as I'm improving my own systems and having other ideas. So go check it out. I promise you, you will not regret it. And listen, while content is hard, everything started to change when I started to live my life more curiously. I had a solid creative process for bringing ideas to life that was integrated into my lifestyle so that I could just share my story. And because I started living my life more curiously, I was able to start speaking from my heart. And of course, the last two things is I started playing the YouTube game seriously, the content game. I started really honing in on it and creating those systems for myself. And I think as long as you do all of these things and you avoid these mistakes through the solutions that I've offered in this video, your success is inevitable, man. Like, you are going to crush it. I truly believe that. Yeah, you got this. Life is a beautiful process, and when we look at it that way, it feels a lot more fruitful. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and comment down below what you thought. Make sure to check out the Dreamflow operating system. And if you have any questions, of course, reach out to me on Instagram at AshtonTJoe. I would love to hear from you. Cheers to you and your success. Just keep on putting one foot in front of the other. Much love, and I'll see you soon. Bye.